And good evening, all you groovy guys and dolls out there. It is Saturday night. Last week I did Sunday, tonight I did Saturday. I don't know. How y'all doing? Let me get the comments pulled up here. Dennis Ellis, you was an early bird. I'll be doggone. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, I did it on Saturday night tonight. I don't know. Next week, we're going to have to... I got to make some decisions on a few things. I'm using a different microphone. Hi, Scott Nickerson. Good to see you. Melissa Jennifer Jones, of course. Yep, we got some guys and dolls in here. Always. Hornback, yep. We're going to do a little talking tonight about... Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Can you hear me okay? Because I got microphones changed around. I had computer issues all week and had one 2 hours ago I had to mess with, so I got a different microphone running. If you can hear me okay, that's great. If you can, I can take these headphones off and I don't have to listen to it anymore. Good. I can take the headphones off now. I don't need them. I don't need to hear myself. I don't guess. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Guess Who. And they're out. They did a show, and they're going to start touring toward the end of February. And I got their song list. And I it sent me off on a... I don't want to start the night off on a rant. So I'll just wait for a little bit. But I'm really kind of... I was looking through their song list that they're doing on this tour. And if you want to see them, they did a show, I believe it was in Toronto, about a week ago. And somebody got a recording of it with a cell phone. Now, you can tell they was sneaking it. The cell phone video isn't all that great. But you know what? They sounded pretty good. Pretty good for a couple of old guys. They got a nice band. They've got, well, a guitar player on each side. Randy Bachman's in there. And then Burton Cummings. And then the bass player. They got a drummer and a percussion player. And they are doing, some amazing, some kick-ass songs. And they didn't sound bad considering, I think... what is Burton Cummings? 79 now? And Randy Bachman's 82. Randy did kind of stand on a stool, but his guitar playing is just as good as always, that's for sure. Let me look through some comments real quick, and I got a little piece of video, too, I can play for you of Randy that I done a couple, 3 years ago. Might be interested in some of it. I don't know about the band name. I haven't got into that, didn't have time. I'm talking kind of off the top of my head right now. I had no time to do any research for this today. I know there was some issues coming back, but I will tell you this. I know on January 31st they used the name Guess Who, because I watched the video of them live up in Canada. And the big, the picture screens they got behind them and everything said the Guess Who and everything like that. So they are still using it. I don't know if there's... I don't think so. I don't know. A lot of that bullshit just comes and goes. I wouldn't pay much attention to it until it really comes to light. Oh yeah, and they sound really good, Well, here. I'll tell you what. Let me see. Let me pull up this song list. We'll go over it. And you look at these songs. Let me look here. This is their song list from that night. Now they're doing I'm gonna have to look over here. They're doing basically everything from the Guess Who, and even a couple songs, I think, after Randy left. But if you look, they're also doing some BTO songs. Um, My Own Way to Rock, I think that was a Burton Cummings solo song. But I want you to look at that song list now and look at all the songs that's on there. These Eyes, Let It Ride, Laughing, Undone, Star Baby, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, American Woman, No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature together, No Time, Share the Land, and Taking Care of Business. Look at them songs and listen and look back on them guys, and I want you to answer me a question. Why aren't they in the Hall of Fame? Why aren't these two guys in the Hall of Fame? And here's something, that really eats at me. And I can't help it. It really upsets me, a lot of it. And this is no skin off of this lady. I've seen her twice. She's one of the best entertainers in country music. But why is Dolly Parton in the Hall of Fame with her great hits like Coat of Many Colors and Jolene and 9 to 5, and Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings, the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive is not? Answer me that. I gotta know. There's something really wrong with rock and roll, and as we come, look at it this way. The curtain is closing on classic rock and roll. We're losing people every day. A lot of them are getting too old and they're not doing it. And I understand that. And I understand them trying to do it. Like I said, Randy Bachman's 82. Burton Cummings is 79. They did a really good job. They both playing really well. They sang decent. Randy Bachman actually sang Let It Ride, and I believe that was Fred Turner's song. I believe he sang the lead on that one. But Randy did a decent job of singing. I mean, they put the songs over good. And the harmony, the bass player and the one guitar player also sang harmony too, and they did a real good job. But why aren't these guys elected into the Hall of Fame? I think the Guess Who's been on the ballot since 1991. And here we are in 2026. Look at them songs. Them are some great rock and roll. Them are classic rock and roll songs. I mean, everybody knows them. I wish that was the answer, but that's not even close to me. I think the answer is just money. Publicity. How much publicity would, look what they got with Dolly Parton. A big hoopla and lots of publicity and all this. And I don't know. I really don't, but there's some ulterior motive behind it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know, Hornback. It's just not fair and it's not right. And to be quite honest, it just pisses me off. I love rock and roll. I love country music. I am a big country music fan. And I love Dolly Parton and Merle Haggard and Johnny Paycheck and people like that. But why are they in the Hall of Fame and these guys aren't? And there's plenty more of them. There's plenty more groups too, and musicians. I mean, there's just so many of them that should be, and there's so many that shouldn't be. And it's been going like that for a long time. I mean, we just lost Chuck Negron. Three Dog Night, look at how many, what do they have, 18 consecutive top 20 hits or top 10? I don't know. I mean, amazing songs. And no, I wouldn't consider them rock and roll. They're more adult contemporary pop music, maybe, borderline either way to rock and roll, but they deserve it a whole lot more than the people that's getting in. And all these guys are dying, passing away, and whatever, and it doesn't do any good to elect them after they're gone in a way because they don't really know. I just don't see it. Yeah, Dahlia said, I don't want, what are you doing? I think she was kind of pressured into doing it. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Don't get it gets me started. I don't know. I just get so uh, frustrated with it and everything because if anybody deserves to go, look, here you go. Look at these guys. They was just kids, you know, um, and they wrote some of them songs, really great rock and roll songs. And it's not just because they're from Canada. That has nothing to do with it, you know. Hey, Kenna, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Steve says, I'm trying to keep up and I'm trying to rant. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help it. I knew that was good. It just irked me when I was reading through that song. And then I listened to them and I'm going, man, these guys could even get up and do a decent job at the Hall of Fame induction. They're still capable of playing and singing. Yeah, Frampton got in, and I think that one album is well deserved. But why aren't these guys in? These guys are fine musicians. I mean, boy, they don't get no better than Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings. Randy, I mean, his guitar playing's still great. It got me. Well, anyway, I'm going to get off that because it runs my blood pressure up. How's that? Something else I wanted to say. They're doing that tour, and they call it Taking It Back Tour. And they done one show, I think, up in Toronto. And on February 23rd, they're coming down here to Florida, and they're doing a cruise. Matter of fact, I think Don Felder's opening for them on a lot of their shows. So that's going to be a good show. And they come back from that cruise, and they're going to be here in Hollywood, Florida the following night. They get in on February 27th. Now, these are two guys that I'm not big on going and seeing the bands anymore since they're all not there. But these are two guys I'd consider seeing. Hollywood, Florida, like for me, it's across the Okeechobee, across the swamps, the Everglades. And they're going to be at a casino there. And I thought about going. I said, well, maybe they'll get, close on the side. And I looked, and they got like about 20, 25 dates all booked, and they're all up in Canada. None of them's in the United States. And I kind of wondered, why that was. I don't know. I don't understand, why they're not going to be here in the United States a lot. I don't know. But these guys are something, man. They just played really well, and it really just, like I said, it irked me. I'll get over it, though. I guess we all will. But it's really not fair. Well, that's a lot of it. It's a money thing. I know there has to be money some way involved. Yeah, maybe they will. I think they should. I wish they'd do it for Randy or Burton. Leaves this earth. They're the ones. They're the ones that wrote the songs. And things like that. I got that one song they wrote, that kind of bluesy jazz chord, Undone. That was one of my favorite songs. I got a really great story on Undone and what caused. Randy Bachman wrote that song, and I believe he wrote the whole thing himself. I'll have to go back and we'll have to do the video again, and we can see. I got some video of it that I did. We'll watch a little of it here in a minute. Yeah, they're excellent songwriters, really good songwriters. Like I said, if you want to go, you can Google that show in Fallview. Just put the Guess Who Fallview concert, and like I said, don't expect a whole lot of great cam work or somebody sneaking it with the cell phone, but you can hear them and hear all the songs. And that, like I said, that song list was great. Yeah. It don't show Jacksonville on the list. There's a web page that's got the tour schedule right now, and I looked through it. The only thing they got is Hollywood, Florida, and that cruise down there, and the rest of it's all up north. Now, that don't mean they can't be adding dates as this goes, and I really think it'll go over well, especially if they got Don Felder opening for them. I mean, Don's always got a good band and plays all the old Eagles songs, so that would really work. Randy and Burton, their songwriting together actually comes from the 60s, 60s, because Randy quit, I believe, in 1970 something. 1970. It was May of 70, and then he started BTO after that. Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I'll play this video for you. Hold the thought on this, Frank. Um, I got the story. I know it was written about a gal that died at one of their parties, and there was 7 verses to this thing. And Randy wrote them all. I think. Don't hold me to it. It's been a while since I researched it and everything. But I'll play it here in just a minute. I just want to go through and everything and say hi to everybody. And yeah, pretty much. Rolling Stone magazine. That's where the problem's coming in. Yeah, yeah. Hollywood's it's a good trip for me. And here's the thing, they're at that casino over there. Well, I got a real good friend that plays with. I don't know if you're familiar with Tim McGraw. He's a country artist. Uh, he played that casino, and I was going to go over there, and I looked, and the cheapest damn rooms was $650 for a room at that place, at that casino. And I said, man, and I ain't going to drive all the way over there, and I can't drive home. I can't drive late at night, and I don't want to drive, especially the way I would have to go. I couldn't get on interstates or nothing to get there. It would be all Florida back roads going through the north of the Okeechobee. Yeah, oh yeah. Burton Cummings is a fantastic singer. Really great. Yeah, but he played. Um, I was listening to him play some of the BTO songs. He rocked out a little more, but he played some melodic stuff. I mean, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Ouch. Yeah, I guess you're talking about that drive. I just can't do it. I tell you what. Let me put on the. Let me call this video up. Let's watch a little bit of it. I won't go through the whole thing because it's real long. We just go through some of it. If you like it, you can go look it up on the channel. But we can watch it here. Let's see. Let me find a video file, and I'm gonna have to go through to. Yeah. Now I had this one out. YouTube didn't. They didn't push it very hard, and I don't understand why. But it's a little. Well, let's put it this way. Randy Bachman's 82. And in the video, when I'm talking about him, I said he's turned 79. So this video is probably about 3 years old. Let's see. Randy Bachman? Yeah. Now let me know if I need to turn the volume up, because I don't have, well, let me put my headphones back on. But let me know if you can hear it or if you can't. We'll watch a little bit of this. I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of it. Just, I want you to hear how that song Undone got written. Was wrote. I don't know. I need Captain Creepy here to help me with my English. Let's see. Here we go. Some good pictures in here, too. Randy Bachman was a founding member of the bands The Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive. His talents as a guitarist, songwriter, and producer has earned him over 120 silver, gold, and platinum albums and singles awards from around the world for his recordings. His songwriting has put him in the #1 spot on radio playlists in over 20 countries, and his total record sales exceed 40 million albums and singles. Amazing. His songs have been recorded by numerous artists and placed in dozens of television, movie, and commercial soundtracks. Here's a little about him and a few stories you might enjoy hearing. If you like the video, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Now on to Randy Bachman. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, September 27, 1943. At age 5, he had started studying the violin in the Royal Toronto Conservatory system. He studied violin until he was into his teens, when he grew dissatisfied with the structured lessons. But he says that it taught him how important practice was, and even today, at age 79, Randy says he still practices his instrument daily. What really brought on a change in Randy's music was Elvis Presley. One of his stories goes something like this. I never got to meet him, but that's a story in itself. It was thanks to seeing Elvis doing Tutti Frutti on TV that I gave up the classical violin and took up rock and roll. Years later, I wrote the song Taking Care of Business for Bachman Turner Overdrive. Elvis heard it on the radio and liked it so much that he adopted it for his anthem. The story of not getting to meet Elvis, Randy goes on to say, back when BTO was falling apart, we were offered the chance to meet Elvis. Well, the rest of the band were told about the meeting, but things were so bad between us that they never told me. So they went to meet him without me. The very first thing Elvis said was, "Where's Randy Bachman, the guy who wrote that song?" They stuttered. Well, he didn't want to come along. I was devastated when I found out what had happened. This was the man who changed my life. But on a brighter note, when Elvis died, one of his entourage gave Randy a solid gold pendant that he always wore. It had the letters TCB with a lightning flash through it. But man, that had to be bad. Your bandmates do that to you? That had to hurt. As a teen, Randy met guitarist Lenny Breau, with whom he developed a friendship and learned some of his technique and playing styles. Randy was a guitarist with Chad Allen and the Silvertones, later the Reflections, in the early 1960s. They made some noise around town and recorded some songs that did okay locally. It was in 1965 they started calling the band The Guess Who, and after that, their keyboard player Bob Ashley left the group, and a young kid named Burton Cummings was hired. And that's when things started to move forward quick. Chad Allen was to leave the group, and Burton Cummings was to take over the lead vocals. Burton and Randy both being trained musicians, Randy on violin and Burton on the piano, started writing songs. They were to write songs together and individually that still stand up strong even today after almost 60 years. Songs like These Eyes, Laughing, Undone, No Time, American Woman, No Sugar Tonight. But out of all these songs, the one that has a unique but tragic story behind the writing is Undone. This was a song Randy wrote on his own, and it was influenced by a real-life incident. Here's the story. Randy says he had met a girl in Vancouver when they were out touring, being the opening act for Alice Cooper and Frank Zappa, who was the headliner at the time. After the tour, they had a big party to celebrate the end of the tour at a friend's house on the campus of the University of Manitoba. Randy had brought this girl back to the party with him. They were there hanging out and listening to music, and Randy says somebody put something in her drink. She had a fit on the floor and went into a coma. The ambulance and the Mounties were called, but the girl never woke up. She was taken to the hospital where she passed away a week later. Well, after that experience, Randy heard the Bob Dylan song Ballad in Plain D, and he heard the line, "She Came Undone." And he had these jazz chords already in place and came up with the hook, "She's Come Undone." Like the Dylan song, Randy had wrote about 10 verses to it. So then he took it over to Burton Cummings' hotel room and played it for him. Burton congratulated him on writing his first song alone and told him that this was a hit if he were to drop about 7 verses of it. Randy did just that, and the song became a hit. She's Come Undone was released as the B-side of Laughing. It got radio play when some disc jockeys flipped the single and played it instead, which prompted the record company to release it as an A-side 4 months later. And the flute solo you hear on the recording is Burton Cummings. At Randy's urging, Burton, who had played saxophone, saw a flute in a store one day, and when the salesman told him the fingering was the same as the sax, Burton paid $20 for the flute and was playing it on stage that same night. There's no doubt that Randy and Burton was a great songwriting team. Randy said there was and still is something special between them today. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good story. What do y'all think of that? That happened a long time ago, so I don't guess it got much publicity about the girl dying and everything. But Randy and Burton, you can tell them guys really had something, and they still have something today. Like I said, if you see that video, you can look it up on YouTube. I'm not going to play. There's probably about another 10 minutes to this video. You know, if you want, y'all, I can. You can find it on the channel, or if you want me to. Next week, I'll play the other half of it if you want, or later on tonight. If you guys want to hear the rest of it, we can listen to it. That's, basically all I had to say about this. I thought there was a couple of good stories, and I knew I could relate them to you, but this way I had more of a concept because I had notes in front of me when I was recording this. So you kind of got the story, and that was quoted. Most of that was quoted from Randy. So that's about all I got, You guys want to talk about anything else? You want to watch the rest of the video? I'm going to leave it all up to you. The first part of it, we just kind of go through, and anything else you all want to talk about or got anything to say? Like I said, we lost Chuck Negron this year. This week. We've lost a lot of rockers now. Yeah, that's a good one. I had one of my first albums that I bought was Share the Land, and that was on there, and Hang On to Your Life, and a lot of it. I didn't hear about Jimmy Page. What's wrong with him? I didn't see that. You know who I know got hurt? I don't know if you're familiar with Marty Stewart. He's a country player. He fell on the ice, and he can't play at all. Can't play guitar. He plays guitar and mandolin. He's kind of a bluegrass, but a hell of a country player, kind of like in the Vince Gill, Albert Lee style. And he fell and hurt his arm. Let me know what's wrong with Jimmy Page or what happened to him. A little warmer down here. It was warmer more in the middle of the state. The water is really cold down here on the Gulf. Water temperature, I think 58 degrees here, and the wind was blowing out of the northwest, and man, it kept it chilly today. It got to 60 today, but next week we're supposed to come up a lot. How about you? Yeah, we've lost a lot of good ones. Ace, Ozzy, Rick Derringer. I don't know. There's more. They're up to that age. Yeah, Marty Stewart. Yeah, he is. He's a great player, man. Hey, that's a plus. That's for sure. That snow's a pain in the ass. No, I didn't know. I didn't keep up with that band too much. I didn't see anything. Like I said, I wasn't really on the internet a lot today. I watched some of that one video of the Guess Who that they recorded, and I haven't been on. Usually, like I said, you know me, I'll fly through Facebook and see what's going on, try to get some news from them. Yeah, no, Marty can't play at all right now. He said. You can probably Google it and get some more information. There may have been some come out today that I don't know about. Yeah, they're falling all over the place around here. You're all over the ground. They'll come back to life, though. I think it's not cold enough now at night to freeze them. It's been staying up in the mid 40s, which that's not too bad. But boy, when it gets down in the 30s, it gets bad. Yeah, he was in a movie. He was in a couple of movies, wasn't he? Hmm. I don't know who he is. With cancer, yeah. Ugh. I don't know. I think that'd be like, I don't know. I've ate alligator before. I've ate it quite a few times down here, but I don't know about iguanas if I'd eat them things or not. Have to be on Survivor or something to do that. Yeah, you got to keep the news. I try to keep up with it here and everything. You know what? I was going to tell you real quick here. I'm not sure what night I'm going to pick to do these. I'm thinking I may I may switch it back and do Sunday evening sometime. The reason for that is like tonight when I come in, I always reboot. I don't know if you can see them, but I got three computers. I got one on each side of me and this one in front of me. And this one here is a pretty powerful computer. But I always reboot it before I start these live streams so everything's all fresh and stuff, and clean it out a little. And I rebooted it and it wouldn't boot. It said there was a fan problem. Well, this is a liquid cooled computer, but it's still got fans on it. And it took me about 20 minutes messing with it. And finally I got another computer. I had to go into the BIOS. And I'm not real computer literate. Excuse me. And I had to go in and turn some things off and make it ignore this and that so I could get it to boot up tonight. Here's the reason though. I like to have a little time beforehand, to do everything. Make sure I got some pictures or I've got a little video to show or whatever that I can do. And there's a chance I might start playing some music on Saturday afternoons at a place down here. I talked to them. I run into them a couple of days ago, and they asked me about it, and I said, yeah. I said I might consider doing it. It's just a couple of hours, but it's in the afternoon. And, you get down there and you hang out and whatever. Everything's done in the afternoons down here. And so I don't know if I'd have time to get back on Saturday and then get everything done. And I really don't want to rush. I don't want to rush myself. I don't like to rush anymore. I'm getting too old for that. So, yeah, I may switch to Sundays. I kind of like doing it on the weekends. I have some other things going on and I need to do during the week. So sometimes during the week's just not really good for me to do them on the weekday nights. And everything, yeah. Sundays, yeah, I see a lot of you said Sunday's better. Yeah, I think so too. So it'll probably be switched to Sunday here coming up. And one thing, like next Saturday, I think it's Valentine's Day. So I might do that because I'm gonna try to keep doing them once a week. I enjoy doing them, and y'all coming in. We get a decent little crowd in here, and we have some fun and get to talk some music, and I can do it. You see, I had to raise my desk. I'm standing up. My back's been bothering me. I can't sit in a chair because I spent too much time in it this week working on some stuff. But you say the audio sounds okay now. You can hear me pretty good because I'll show you real quick. I can turn this down. See, I've got a mic down here. It's from my recording equipment. As you can see on that side, that computer's there done nothing but for recording. And I just started. I used it instead of swinging that big boom arm. I used that one with the boom for doing my voiceovers for the documentaries. And like I said, I'm not doing near as many documentaries this year as I did last year. YouTube's just not putting them out like they used to, and I need to try to find some other ways around it and things like that, make a little money and keep this channel going. I did redo the software that I'm using, the StreamYard. I went ahead and I paid that up, and I got that going and everything. Let's see. I'll go back. All right, man, you take care. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Jacksonville's a nice town. I hope to get up there someday and run around. I haven't been there in a long time. I was up in St. Augustine here a while ago, which isn't too far from you. Cactus. Vanilla fudge. Yeah, vanilla fudge. I'll be darned. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, classic love songs. Speaking of classic love songs, here's a good one for you, Melissa. Last night I was laying there. I said, man, I usually listen to audiobooks at night before I go to sleep. And I said, I want to put on some music that's all just kind of laid back, that I can listen to. And I put on the Best of Bread album and listened to David Gates sing. And, boy, he could really write some love songs. And I listened to that, and I fell asleep listening to it. And then I woke up. It jerked me awake because at the end of that, they started playing some of them rocker songs they did, Mother Freedom and Let Your Love Go. But, yeah, I listened to them. Them were some great songs. There's some good love songs. You have to kind of get into the pop culture, more adult contemporary pop music for a lot of the good love songs. Carpenters had some. Elton John wrote some great love songs. Well, Bernie Taupin wrote the words, but Elton was there. Yeah. I hate messing with computers. I hate, but I have to. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I thought about the other day. I was going through and I found some of the old videos that I did 15 years ago. I got some videos on there of me making a homemade wine, and I was drinking it out of a beer bottle. I look at them and I go, holy cow, where did all them years go to? You got a new girlfriend and one leg. Doggone, she sounds like she might be a good for to have her come down and be a pirate with us. You know, I only got one eye, so that makes it. Thanks, Hornback. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate it, buddy. God bless you and all yours, too. Great. Coming in loud and clear. You know, this old microphone, I've used it for recording vocals in forever, and it sounds good with acoustic guitar and stuff, so I figured I'd use it on a live stream. It's an old AKG. It's a C2000B is the numbers on it, and it's old. This thing is probably, it's a good 15 years old, easy, and it's had a lot of use. Recorded a lot of vocals with it. Yeah, David Gates can. Um, he can't. You know, here's a good story. The song that he wrote, "Everything I Own." You know, he starts on that real high voice and everything. You know, I would give everything I own. That one. The words to it, like you sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, and you gave my life to me and set me free. Finest years I ever knew was all the years I spent with you, and I'd give everything I own. You know, that is, it's like a beautiful love song. And he wrote that song for his dad. That song is about his dad. And I didn't know it here until, it's been 4 or 5 years ago. I seen an interview with him and he talked about it. You know, they were doing all them love songs, Baby I Want You and Diary and If and all them songs. And he said, I had to stay in the same vein, but he said, I wanted to write something from my daddy. And he said, that's a song that came out of me. I'm thinking, God, what beautiful words, man. Oh, yeah. Do they go by? I'm telling you what, they just zoom by. Grandpa's going on what tour? The grandpa's going on this tour. What grandpa's? You lost me. Are you high? Diary, yeah, that's a great song. Great song. Yeah, and it's all great stuff. Yeah, you know, the thing about Bread, I was listening to that. You know, I always got headphones of some kind on, and the acoustic guitars in that sounded so good. Um, just so good, so clean and clear, and really, you know, it was the old school stereo, man. You know, a lot of stuff was panned hard left and hard right. It sounds really good. I really did it. You know, it was nice acoustic music. James Taylor, some other nice acoustic music too. I like a lot of his stuff. Oops. Let's see. What can we look at? You want? Let me see if I can come up with some pictures real quick for us to look at here, and do it. Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And to get the awards and stuff, you know, like the Guess Who, they've been they've been on the, what do you call it? They've been on the list since 1991. For Christ's sakes, they're goofy. You know, I'll save the rest of that video. Maybe we'll watch it, some more of it next week or something if you guys want to, or whatever. I'm gonna pull it off there real quick. Remove from studio. Let's see what I got. See if I can find maybe an old doc pic or something. I don't know. Let's see. Have to get back to here and there and everywhere. Hey, Tommy, since you're here, I seen Morgan down at the Pirate Bar, and she asked me about playing on Saturdays down there when the weather warms up, and I told her I might be interested in it, and I know you'd be if you want to do it. We can go down. We can go down there. Give us some place to go. All I gotta do is get a hold of Morgan. I didn't get her phone number, but she's there on Mondays too. Mondays and Saturdays. Let's see. What am I looking for? Here you go. I'll show you a good picture of me. This one isn't too bad. What year was this? 2012. There you go. Now, if you look down there, I got bare feet. That was in Jamaica. I was in Jamaica playing. They had a piano bar there, and I was there in the afternoon. You can see there's a couple people up there to the top and some off to my left there, and I was playing and singing some I don't know. God, what, you know me. Well, you don't know me. You can ask Tommy O'Domarock. He's in there. I don't know what I know until I just start singing. Let's see if I can find one more picture. One more old Doc picture. With my shaved head. Let's see. I don't have no more there, I don't think. Oh, here's a cool picture. You know, we was talking about Rick Derringer, and he passed away last year. Here's a great picture, man. Look at this. Rick Derringer and Johnny Winter coming down to the stage, getting ready to play, coming down some steps. I thought that was cool. And I always thought them guys, you know, they're both phenomenal guitar players. I don't play piano bars anymore, and I can hardly play piano anymore. I've got arthritis pretty bad in my hands. I mean, I can play a little bit. You know, I could play enough to get by and fool some people, but I can't play like I used to. I haven't. When I play out, I play a guitar now. I got some videos of me playing. I don't know if I can show them on here or not. I don't know how how YouTube's been lately with their copyright claims. You know, everything's changed on YouTube lately. Bee Gees, yeah. They did some great ballads. They sure did. You know, that, as I said earlier, you probably wasn't here, Richard. They're only showing, most all the tour they're showing is up in Canada. I don't know if I can, let me see if I can do this without crashing this damn computer. Hang on just a minute. I'll show you what I found. Okay, let me try something here, guys. Hang on. I'll see if I can bring that tour up for you. And let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Here's the tour dates they're showing now. Can y'all see that? They're showing the Legends Cruise there, and that's out of Fort Lauderdale, and that's on February 23rd to the 27th. And then they're showing March 1st at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. And then it jumps to May. And Moncton, that's New Brunswick, I'm guessing. Then Halifax, Nova Scotia. QC's got to be Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Ontario, and British Columbia. Now, here's what you can do, though. You can go to that. That's the address is theguesswho.com. Here, I'll put it out here on the chat, and you can yeah, right there. Just look down the chat down there, and you can see it. And you can go there, and it says follow the Guess Who and get notifications when new events are announced in your area. You know, so they got ticket sales and everything. Like the cruise is sold out already. But either way, that'll help you find out what's going on. Well, see, here's the thing. I'd like to, but I don't know. You know, I'm not doing any songs of my own. I'm just playing other people's songs. And I don't know if YouTube will throw a copyright on it or not. I don't, let's see. Hang on a minute. I might be able to show it. Let me look through my channel. There's some they didn't claim. These are only a couple years, well, 3 or 4 years old. Let's see. I might be able to share one here. I don't know. There's a couple of songs that I don't think the publishers care that you use. Like I said, I don't know. Yeah, there's no copyrights on that. Copyright, none, copyright, none, copyright. Boy, this is hard to find. I better not tonight. I'll try to get something for you sometime, or maybe I can do one. We can do I can do a chat. There's a way I think I can do one and unlist it, and I can just sit right here and play and sing for you. It don't bother me, and do some songs. They do. They've got some classic rock bands that do that now. The drummer for Boston, Sib, what's his last name? Hessian? I can't think of his last name. He actually died on one of the cruises here about 3 or 4 years ago. They had some of the people from Boston was there, you know, like Bradley Delp, the singer. He's gone. He passed away many years ago. But they do. They have them with classic rock too, and they're not extremely expensive. You know, I know the ones out of Tampa down here. They're not too expensive. You know, they're like 4 days and 3 nights, And I've seen them as low as starting out at $500 a person. I mean, you know, when you're out not close to it though, then you have to get there. You have to fly there and fly back, and then there's some port charges and things like that they tack on. Some of them give you food, some of them don't. Some of them give you drinks, some of them don't. I myself have never been on a cruise. I'm down here around them all the time. Uh, they just don't really interest me. But yeah, they have a lot of them. I know the country music has a lot of people on the cruises. Yeah. He does. He on that tour. He will do. You ain't seen nothing yet. Taking care of business and let it ride. Them are the three songs from BTO that he does, and they do them. And Burton Cummings does a couple from his solo, and they do all the rest of it's all Guess Who. It's really good. You'll like it. Lord, that hour just flew by. It just flew by, guys. I said we could do it again. We'll look for it maybe next Sunday. Yeah. But either way, I want to thank you all for being here. You know, stopping by, spending some time with me, talking some music, doing this, that, and the other thing. Probably see me next Sunday night, I'm going to guess. And we'll start doing Sunday nights. It's a lot better for a lot of folks. Don't do anything. Dennis Ellis, doggone, you spent almost a whole hour in here tonight. Now, if I switch over to Sundays, you'll be channel hopping on Sundays. I know that. You got all kinds of different ones to go to. Always on 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm in Florida, so I run Eastern Time. So when I say 8 o'clock, that's 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock if you're in California. And I don't know what the hell time it is in England. All right, guys. I'm going to pick it up, pack it up, and take it on down the highway, you know? Oh, yeah. Florida's a lot warmer than Manitoba. There's a lot of people down here from there right now. Believe me, we are packed down here. Oh, I'll always still be around Scott Nickerson. You know me. I won't go away until they spread my ashes out in the Gulf here somewhere. I'll be going. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Are you out there playing some? I hope so. If you ever get down this way, at least throw some harmonicas in your pocket and come down and we'll get someplace and jam a little, play something. Yep. That's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all take care, be kind, be good to everybody. You know what I'm saying?